Alright, YouTube, we're bringing you the presidential debate. I will not play everything, I'll just play a few pointers because I don't want to have the video flagged as someone, MSNBC, NBC, claiming that this content is theirs and the video goes down. So I'll just play a few clips. Then you will understand what I said in the video that I made before. What did I say? That this is a what? Trump trap. At least that part which I said did not happen. But what has happened is one part that I said is true. Back in 2016, Clinton, or rather Trump, called the media and the whole system as the Clinton machine. What did I say in the video? I said all these, even where Harris accepted to do the debate, it's also part of the Democrats. Yes, they would not say it themselves that no, we are part of the Democratic machine. They won't tell you that. But they are part of that machine. You will see one part that I will show you, and then I'll show you what others have picked up and what other platforms, medias are picking up. It was one thing that Trump said, and this one thing, it was a report that immigrants were eating cats, dogs, and ducks. You will see. I'll play you the videos, you will see for yourself, and you'll be the judge. Because they attacked Trump, and many of them laughed. I will show you all that. Now, let's go through the list of these small clips that I've chosen to play. Then we'll play also the videos so that you yourself be the judge and see that this was a trap. Trump was debating the moderator and Harris. Trump was being fact-checked by the moderator, but Harris would say lies and the moderator would not fact-check. During the break, what did they do? Attacking Trump on those highlights for the news. What happened in the debate? Did they put anything concerning what Harris said? Nothing. Do you now see that Trump is fighting the system? The Republican Party have an enemy, which is the very system, the mainstream media, and the Democratic government. These are the two things they are fighting. Now, look at this. I said it. Why did Kamala accept to debate on this one but refused on the others and other platforms? Because those other ones, like Fox, they like Trump. So she knew that they were going to fry her alive. This one, no doubt about it, she was given the questions, everything. She knew exactly what was going to be asked, how everything was going to go. And that is why their attack was going from the moderators to Trump. It was more like in the lion's den. Remember that interview Trump was caught saying Harris will be there. He went, he was alone, and the cast of journalists, what did they do? Straight attacking Trump. He pointed out that there you are just starting with attacks. So you see and you understand, but here's the thing. There are people that don't care whatever happens to Trump. They don't care. This they will not see any negative about this. They'll say, oh, what a win for Harris. Trump was alone. There were moderators fighting Trump, debating Trump. But of course, if you watch the whole thing, you cannot say that Trump lost. But as the news go by, especially CNN, they will literally say Trump was eaten alive. But I can tell you she was eaten alive because she didn't answer questions that American people would love to hear. Watch the full debate. You will hear. So let's just jump in and hear what transpired.
It's 2024.
Good evening, I'm David Muir, and thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate. We want to welcome viewers watching on ABC and around the world tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump are just moments away from taking the stage in this unprecedented race for president.
And I'm Lindsay Davis. Tonight's meeting could be the most consequential event of their campaigns, with Election Day now less than 2 months away. For Vice President Kamala Harris, this is her first debate since President Biden withdrew from the race on July 21st. Of course, that decision followed his debate against President Donald Trump in June. Since then, this race has taken on an entirely new dynamic.
And that brings us to the rules of tonight's debate. 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. No topics or questions have been shared with the campaigns. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions, and this is the clock. That's what they'll be seeing. 2 minutes for rebuttals and 1 minute for follow-ups, clarifications, or responses. Their microphones will only be turned on when it's their turn to speak. No pre-written notes allowed. There is no audience here tonight in this hall at the National Constitution Center. This is an intimate setting for 2 candidates who have never met.
President Trump won the coin toss. He chose to deliver the final closing statement of the evening. Vice President Harris selected the podium to the right.
So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. What's up? Good debate.
See you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
So let's get started. I want to begin tonight with the issue that voters repeatedly say is their #1 issue, and that is the economy and the cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year, because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. we're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation has, which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security.
Okay, let's pause it right there. Let's jump to the next clip.
Barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I have
you.
to respond. Another lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact, when they got a very negative decision on IVF from the Alabama courts, I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask me that question?
Why don't you answer
That's
the question?
problem.
Would you
Because
veto?
under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question, would you veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the governor, former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
President Trump, thank you.
We're going to turn now to immigration and border security. We know it's an issue that's important to Republicans.
Okay, we will pause on that. We will jump to another clip.
But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as the rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
I'm
taking it from the city manager.
The dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election.
Okay, let's stop there because we have to jump to another part. But see what I was talking about? He's getting attacked even by the moderator, fact-checking him right there. Now, you will see the videos and you will be the judge. Let's just jump to another part. That is...
But it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich.
Okay, I'll not play her response. I'm pointing out the very thing I told you about. What did I say? The moderator becoming more like part of the debate is also debating Trump. Did you see that? Let's go to the next clip. So you will see from what I said, the reports. What did Trump say concerning the eating of dogs, cats, ducks? You will see. It's on YouTube. It's on international news websites, but it's not in the mainstream in USA. Why? Because they know USA will go, or rather the Democrats will lose if it's reported by the mainstream media, because the mainstream media may reach more people, because many are busy doing what? Just doing selfies on the internet. You will see the videos for yourself. You will see every proof, then you be the judge. Now let's look at this other part that I wanted you to see.
And for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll say, come on down to the office, let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed.
Mr.
Those
President,
people are killing many people, unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue to both of you because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
that.
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls. And we have to have it. We have to have borders. And we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them
No judge looked at it.
And said
they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The President of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you'll do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania, and I'll show you. We have so many facts and statistics, but you know what? That doesn't matter because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you. Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker, so he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States, and world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact. That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president, but when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes, and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed, and now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is up.
I think we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
Okay, let's pause again. Now, this is the final part that I'm going to play. I won't play the rest of the after the break because they'll be going on a break. Now, I want to show you what's on the break. They attacked only, or rather referred to what Trump said. The highlights they showed, it's only Trump. I won't play the whole break so that you can see for yourself, because the rest is just news that is going on in the world, this, that, etc. So that's why I won't play, so that you can prove what I said. But you will see it if you can find the whole thing. So let me find that part for the break
to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
Do you see that? All right, let's pause it because it's got now some other news. So why didn't they put anything to debunk Harris right there? They didn't say anything. What Kamala said, she was supposed to be debunked. She said some false things. They didn't do anything about that. Did they put any highlight right there and say, oh, she said this, Kamala said that, debunk? Nada. So now let's go to the videos so that you can see for yourself that this system is rigged, getting the very words that Trump liked to use. So look at this before we go to the videos. I just want to show you. Yeah, even Microsoft, they're all in on it. This is time. Verify. The Sun, Atlanta. See that? So these are the news stations. All of them. But here is I will play this video, but let's focus on these. There is another one. Okay, I think Eastern, okay. And there is one. Someone generated this, meant for mockery 13 hours ago. So CNN, what did I tell you? Oh my, I think this is a Kamala machine. Okay, so you see all this, right? Now let me play the video which shows that the media is more like controlled. It has the more like a control center that controls it. So let's look at these videos. These are the ones I'm talking about, but let's pick one of them and play so that you can hear for yourself.
Democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our 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 democracy.
So they are claiming it's dangerous to their democracy. What is dangerous to their democracy? The very thing I showed you right here. They found a pointer to attack about these Haitians eating cats, dogs, ducks, all of them. I mean, they lack no shame. Do you see what's going on here? All of these. What title or what thing did they pick up from the debate? This happened just a few minutes when the debate ended. I was trying to fact check whether this thing is really going on, and this is what I found. Do you see that? Do you see that? All of them, different platforms, all focusing on the same story. Now, so let us see who is really telling the false news. Is it these guys or Trump and Vance? Let's look at some videos. Okay, let me start with this one. Trump really messed up, and he should have said what he said just a few days ago on his campaign. Harris said something that is false. Trump missed the opportunity. It was about IVF, but why didn't he say that he is the one who is pushing for support on this? The government is going to pay for women who wants to do IVF. That's what he was supposed to do. So people that don't know, who've never heard, they just wanted to watch the debate. They missed that part. That part is here. Listen to it.
Former President Donald Trump was also on the trail, campaigning in Michigan and Wisconsin, where he focused on women's reproductive care. Speaking to the crowd in Michigan, Trump laid out his policies for IVF and fertilization treatments. And here's what he had to say.
As part of our efforts to help working families, I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes.
So joining me now with the latest is CBS News campaign reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman. So yesterday, Trump focused his message on protecting women's reproductive rights. We've spoken about how his attacks against Vice President Kamala Harris could actually alienate this major voting bloc. I think this IVF announcement came as a surprise to many, many people, and a particularly expensive campaign promise. But I take it that this is his attempt to sort of shore up those suburban women that he's been accused of alienating, both him and his vice presidential campaign.
This absolutely seems to be a play for women who, as you said, have been coalescing around Vice President Kamala Harris, and perhaps for undecided voters. Of course, Trump previously campaigned on overturning Roe versus Wade, which has been seen as leading to restrictions on IVF. But this is actually in line with something he said after the Alabama Supreme Court ruling back in February. He did say that he supported IVF back then. But one thing I'd like to point out is that in terms of abortion rights, Trump has always said that that's something that should be left to the states. But he's now making this national IVF proposal.
Yeah, right. It seems like the two.
Okay, stop right there. You heard right? So, who was telling the truth? You saw the clip from Kamala, and here it is. This is what Trump missed out on. I would understand, like some reports, as you will hear, they say there was some frustration to why Trump did not stay on some pointers that were supposed to be said. So I think let me check if this is supposed, there's something right here at the end when the debate ended. Yeah, I think let's hear what these guys say.
Long time, and is this the final debate? Is this the only one we're going to see? Will there be another? Well, it depends on how each candidate feels they did tonight. Let's bring back our moderator, Meet the Press, Kristen Welker, our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Boy, do we have a lot to chew over here.
Yes.
I mean, let's talk about, first of all, it does seem that Kamala Harris was trying to hit every trigger point she could think of to try to get Donald Trump to respond to her and to kind of fall and to bait him into that trap. Do you think it was effective?
Well, let's just name a few. Abortion, January 6th. His former officials who are now critical of him. John McCain, which is a big trigger point.
His rally size.
His rally size, one of the biggest ones that gets under his skin. One of his allies said she clearly tried to get under his skin. He's being defensive way too much. He's losing his answers. For example, instead of border czar, we had eating pets. Of course, that theory that Springfield officials in Ohio are saying there's no proof that undocumented immigrants are eating pets, something that we've heard from Trump and his campaign. And I think that allies are expressing concern about the fact that he didn't do what they were hoping he would do, which is to stay on message, to talk about his strengths. There were some unanswered questions as well. It's worth noting out on both sides. Harris never answered whether you're better off than you were 4 years ago. She also didn't say what she would have done differently on immigration. Trump, by the way, didn't answer the critical question. Would he veto a national abortion ban if it came to his desk? I asked J.D. Vance if Trump would do that. He said, yes, he would. Trump said tonight, well, he didn't check with me before saying that. So some differences there. Again, how does this play with those swing voters?
Okay, let's stop it there. You heard what I wanted. So you see again right there, just right there, they're still one-sided, so much one-sided, more like the video that I made, the Trump trap. Yep. So these very guys conducting the debate and the whole Democratic Party, they sat down, talked about the very thing that do this, so to just get Trump to answer your questions instead of focusing on what he wanted to say. Do you see that? So it was a trap for Trump. It's good that the microphones were off, because it would have been worse than this. It would have been them now arguing, bickering, and we wouldn't hear anything. So it was good that the microphones were off. Let's go to the second thing. Oh yeah, this part, of course, you already heard it. That listen.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening.
Now you've taken away elderly Biden, you suddenly realise how much he just rambled like nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Biden was so bad, he looked quite good.
They're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield,
so denying the cat.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating. Eating the pets of the people that live there, and this is what's happening.
It's just such nonsense.
Those are two of the most wild clarifications I've ever heard.
Run the spot's running. Run spot, run. They're gonna eat. They're gonna eat spot. That's where he's got that from.
Simple phrase: make America.
So look, that was a question about immigration. He got so riled about the rallies that he didn't.
Okay, what did they do? They had a good laugh. I will show you more videos on that and websites. Then now you tell me. You see, this is the Sun. The same guys who picked up on that with a lot of medias, including CNN, on the same topic, this thing they are laughing on. Let's go.
Are you guys, you want to eat some pets, or you want to go to Miami? Which direction you want to go to?
Let's eat some pets.
All right, let's go to this one. So Haitian Miami migrants eating pets. Here's the even more serious story about migrants in Springfield, Ohio. By the way, this is not a fake story. We're going to show you a clip. It's a little disgusting. So again, you're being warned. It's not that bad, but it is disgusting. Claims that Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating pets were denied by the police, a spokesperson stating there have been no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals. However, there's some videos here you got to watch. These rumors starting after a resident claimed at a city commission meeting that migrants were grabbing up ducks by the neck and heads up. By the way, I don't know this story, man, but this is just funny that they're writing it. Senator J.D. Vance amplified these unverified claims on X. People have had their pets abandoned and eaten by people who shouldn't be in this country, and defended his stance by citing a high volume of calls and emails from Springfield residents concerned about the migrant influx, which he linked to Kamala Harris's policies. Which clip you want to show, Ross? Tell me. Because this is either going to be a spoof and we're going to laugh our asses off, or this is a story. Do you have the one with the cops arresting the girl? I don't even know if that's the...
This is it? And mind you, people...
How recent is this, by the way?
How recent is that, Rob? I mean, this has to be recent-ish.
Can you go to the comment section of this video? Typically, people in the comment section and community notes will say, that's not recent, that's a video from a long time ago.
And while he's doing it, let's just to give you guys some context, that under the Biden administration, immigration parole program...
Go to that and just look at the comment section. Zoom in on the comment section, Rob, and see... it's amazing that hasn't happened until 2020.
Burger King was closed.
Is this real gross? Mass deportation, disgusting. WTF, OMG, keep going down. Invite them as a white... What's this? While a woman arrested for killing cats, eating in front of their neighbors.
And go down a little bit. August. Seriously? August 20th.
So why is New York Post saying this is not real? So what newspaper is this? What article?
So I think the confusion is whether or not the woman that's charged with this is actually a migrant or not. I think that's the main issue. So they're
trying to tie the two things together. So she just may be somebody that likes cats.
Or hungry. She was hungry. She missed a lot. Like, dude, people are fasting.
Play the clip, Rob. Just
Haitian hungry. It's easy to mix them up.
The cop.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. My order TV. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it?
She's not
No,
speaking.
why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with him.
Did you see her eating it? She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
I know you're emotional here. I'm going to come to you last, but go ahead.
Yes, two cats. Haitian. I mean, I don't know how somebody could see that, jump to the Haitian thing, and it'd be fake. But under the Biden administration, the immigration parole program has a large number of Haitians that resettled in Springfield, Ohio since 2020. They're estimating 12,000 to 20,000 Haitian immigrants have arrived in the area, which has created a significant strain on the town's resources, particularly in terms of housing, public services, and infrastructure. I know Rob has a couple of videos. Elon even did it. There's a guy and a girl there in front of the city council, and they're just complaining of what this influx. And mind you, how are they getting from the board? They're flying them. Is that correct, Rob? They're flying them. They're not trekking through the United States, correct?
I'm not sure. I know. Here's the video that Vinny's referencing. This is the female resident of Springfield, Ohio, where she talks about her town being overrun by migrants.
I've seen this one. Do you have another one aside from this, or is that?
I do. This one, this gentleman right here.
Let's hear that one first.
I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one separately because it's a bit longer. I think let me find it so that I play it. Okay, that's the video, but let me just forward a bit so that we just hear what these guys are saying. Or let me play it from here. Maybe it will have even better sound. Listen to.
I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
You guys are just sitting up there and something. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into... they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me tonight, FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, and it's going to get bigger and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a t-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Like, y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. That's where they come from and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really, like, step up. Like, it's lame, bro. Like, for real.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Driving around Springfield, I was looking at the giant holes in some of our buildings. I noticed all of the old familiar spots bearing new signs in an unfamiliar language. I watched as groups of strangers walked around the city, like lost tourists, and it was like a punch in the gut. A terrible sadness came over me, and I began to cry. I immediately started to think back to when I was little, walking from my grandma's house on South Fountain through downtown and all the way to Snyder Park. I feel like we have been invaded by some sort of pest. I'm angry that my friends and family are packing up and moving away. I'm angry that foreigners are using up the resources that were set up for the Americans that reside here. I'm angry that another country's flag was being flown in our city. I'm angry when I see our businesses and recreational areas littered with garbage left by people that do not know or understand our laws and culture and are making no attempt to learn about them. And let me be clear, this is not about race. This is about people being given the privilege of coming here from another country and having no respect for our people, our land, or our life's work. People living their life here the way they did in Haiti, angry, stealing, polluting, living in filth, and acting like animals. These are not civilized people. Opening containers in our grocery stores, helping themselves to what's inside and throwing the rest onto the shelves and floors. Pulling off of the highway to publicly clean and gut the roadkill lying there in front of anyone that passes by. Stealing animals from farmers and leaving their severed heads at the side of an old school where children play. Relieving themselves in public. Making some barbaric stew out of the birds that live in our park. This is insanity, and it has to stop. What will become of Springfield? Where will we be in 5 years? The thought terrifies me.
There have been first-hand reports of wrong-way drivers on one-way streets, drivers ignoring stop signs, and red lights and other traffic issues. There is the impact on businesses having to deal with language, cultural differences. There is the strain on public resources, both governmental and private services, including health.
I'm taking my cart down the grocery aisle, and I have 3 immigrants strapped across the aisle. Seen me coming, would not budge, wouldn't even, and I said, "Excuse me." Maybe they didn't understand what I was saying, but I'm sure they understood that I was trying to get through that aisle. So I have no recourse now but to bust through it. I'm not afraid to do so. You know, I would like to see them have some common respect, some common decency. Do not try to bully your way through Springfield, Ohio. It's not going to work out well.
Having thousands of new immigrant neighbors move into our city during the past few years has been stressful and overwhelming. But I am hopeful for a shared future with them. Speaking from personal experience, our Haitian neighbors and other newcomers I have met have been kind, grateful, hardworking people who want to play a positive role in our community. They are students, employees, business owners, and consumers who are contributing to our city.
Okay, hit that. Let's go to the next one.
I don't want to even label all of these illegal migrants as horrible people who are coming here, cutting off the heads of ducks and eating.
Oops. This thing went on to play. Let's do this again.
Even label all of these of ducks and eating them from the local park. Now, you know how I feel about illegal immigration, and I don't want to even label all of these illegal migrants as horrible people who are coming here, cutting off the heads of ducks and eating them. But if it's one too many. And we have story after story after story out of Springfield, Ohio, of these illegal Haitian migrants doing the same thing. It's really, really strange. I'm going to read you some more. Now, mind you, Springfield, Ohio has a very small population, and they now have 20,000 Haitian migrants living within the city, some of whom are staying 10 to 1 bedroom absolutely insane. Now, Springfield, Ohio residents are warning other residents with what they're seeing from these migrants. I'm going to read you a warning, and this is legit. Warning to all about our beloved pets and those around us. My neighbor informed me that her daughter's friend had lost her cat. She checked cages, kennels, asked around, etc. One day she came home from work. As soon as she stepped out of her car, looked towards a neighbor's house where Haitians live, and saw her cat hanging from a branch, like you do a deer for butchering. And they were carving it up to eat. I've been told they're doing this to dogs. They've been doing it at Snyder Park with ducks and geese. As I was told the last bit by rangers and police, please keep a close eye on your animals. So when I'm talking about illegal immigration, and I say that a lot of these immigrants who are entering the country illegally are not assimilating to American customs and culture, this is one of the extreme examples where that assimilation is not taking place. Can you imagine having your pet snatched up out of your yard, butchered and eaten by a neighbor? I can't, but I guess in this year 2024, we should maybe get used to that, because we're allowing people into this country who absolutely refuse to adapt to the American way of life. And in the case of what's happening in Springfield, Ohio, it's leading to these extreme news stories, like having ducks, geese, cats, and dogs butchered right in front of you. And it's not just the fact that they're snatching up pets and ducks and eating them, although that should be enough. They're also squatting on people's yards. They are becoming aggressive towards the Americans living in Springfield, Ohio. And many of these Americans are coming forward to testify in front of their city council members, asking for something to be done.
Okay, you heard that? So let's go back to that video with this one. Let's just go a bit ahead when this part is played. Right there.
Ducks. I put ducks. I'll tell you what words I put. Ducks, Ohio, Haitian. If you can just do that. No, take Snopes out, Rob. Just type exactly what I typed. Ducks. I can't believe I'm typing this. Ohio. Haitian. Yeah. So go to Snopes, and they don't say no. They just say they say unfounded, which means they're not even saying no. They're just saying we don't know.
Well, because Pat,
I've had duck liver before.
1,000%.
Right? Foie gras,
yeah,
duck.
But I'm telling you right now,
they're looking at foie gras. Maybe it's like a rich.
But look at
I don't know if that picture's true or not. That, by the way, that could be Photoshop.
Yeah. That could be, but at the same time,
ain't ducking around. We know that.
I've seen videos on X of actual residents from Springfield reporting that they're killing and eating ducks from the local parks, and there are other animals such as cats and geese. But you know what the crazy thing is? You should see the internet blowing up. Yesterday, I woke up, I'm like, what the hell are all these memes AI generated of cats and Trump, and that Trump is gonna save these cats? And what I learned, you know, I realized. Look at this. Look.
Is that real? Is that real?
No, it's not real. I mean, dude, it's scary in 10 years. What's gonna be like? But look at it. He's like, I love you, quack quack. But I realized something like, and like, go look. The Haitians behind him. It's like a zombie movie. But here's the point.
So messed up, man.
Adam, you need that in your house. Back up.
That's my favorite one.
That's the one he needs. Trump saving two cats.
Trump has my vote now.
Oh, there we go.
Saving kittens and ducks.
But guys, and you know, yeah, but you guys realize something? Like, Tom, if this lady was eating a human being, nobody would have cared. It would have been like a shock. And then the fact that the internet, no, Adam, because a couple years ago in LA, there was a guy eating a cadaver on the freeway. Didn't make headline news.
No, it did. That's why we know about it.
No, you know about it, but
I remember we talked about it.
There was a homeless guy on an LA freeway that was eating a piece of somebody. There was a car.
I don't want to go.
Another homeless person.
There was a car accident. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So beyond the levity here, and this is pretty ridiculous. And there's levity, and it's just absurd.
I genuinely don't know what levity means.
It's the
Vinny, do you know what it means?
Yes. He's putting light to
the.
No, levity is
humor.
Tom,
he knows what.
No offense, I believe you.
You know what it is. Go.
So
what is levity?
The first thing is you've got displaced immigrants who you can't call them illegal immigrants, by the way. these Haitians. The Haitians were actually not only protected, but they were validated to be here legally by the Biden administration. So you can't call them illegal immigrants. You can call them the undocumented immigrants that have been validated by the Biden administration that were dropped off in Springfield, Ohio, without housing, jobs, or a transition plan. So the consequence here is our government, and they're bringing in votes or bringing in whatever, you make the decision there, are dropping them off, and then these consequences are happening where these people don't have a place to live, they don't have work skills that are applicable to the businesses in the area, and worse, they're living it, they said that, by the way, churches have been opening up, like open spaces they have, warehouses have been tapped on the shoulder and asked to set up cots, so there's some things going on beyond the story here about the pets, showing that these are displaced people. I'm not saying feel bad for them, but I'm saying this is our government with an immigration policy that's failed. And they're dropping all these people off in a small town, Ohio. This is what happens. This is the consequence. How is this assimilating anybody here to do some work? You know what? If India took a bunch of American cowboys from Nebraska and dropped them off someplace in India, you'd have headlines over there.
What are they doing here?
People have had their cows abducted and eaten by people who shouldn't be in this country.
Ooh.
You see? So it's like...
Are you betting a cowboy hat?
It's actually a good analogy. But
No, but seriously, if you're going to do it without a plan, so I think the bigger story here, beyond the absurdity and the just horror that people are facing, is this is a failed immigration policy perpetrated by our government, complete with, no, you're not going to deport these ones because hand me that pen. Okay, there it is. Done. Those 100,000 that were sent in here, they're cool. We validated that.
And Tom, you make a great point because they're not illegal. I mean, they were just dumped here. Okay, I understand. Hey,
they were undocumented immigrants who are now validated by the Biden administration. Okay, you hang out.
Yeah, and they're granted TPS, which is temporary protected status, because they're facing horrible things where they're caught from. And I get it, my heart goes out to them. But let's take a step back and Tom, go deeper. What is the outcome for an administration with Alejandro Mayorkas and the Biden administration to take 20,000 people that are stuffed? By the way, just dumping them in the city, no housing, no nothing, and just in a town that has 60,000. What are you trying to do? Like,
gee, I wonder.
Man, it makes you scratch your head and be like, wait a minute, why is this? Is it because Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas care about people, about actual people? They don't. So I go a step back, but then I thought about this. This whole story is blowing up, and you're seeing all this stuff about cats, because I realized something. This country adores cat. Adam sent me something the other day, Adam, a sanctuary. It was Ohana Sanctuary Pet thing by the convention center. It was a, what's it called? A sanctuary, not a sanctuary.
It was a pet resort.
It's a pet resort. Meanwhile, there's two homeless guys sleeping outside. And I realized this country loves cats.
Do you guys mind if I transition?
No, go for it.
Just give one quick.
I'm honestly, I'm done with cats at this point.
I do want to defend the Haitians, though, for 1 second, if I can.
They're going after the
Okay, let me stop it right there. Let's continue to find more of these clips. Is this part of the playlist? Let me check.
The US presidential debate was touted as being between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. But many commentators are saying the real debate was Trump v. Harris and the ABC moderators David Muir and Lindsay Davis. Here are 5 moments the biased moderators turned on Trump. The debate opened with David Muir asking Kamala Harris if Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago. But instead of answering the question, Kamala Harris claimed she was raised in a middle-class family and then went on to say she has a plan for Americans, but didn't provide details of that plan. Moderators didn't push back on this non-answer.
Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Abortion and reproductive rights was also a major talking point in the debate where the moderators showed bias. Lindsay Davis presented a long-winded monologue on abortion designed to present Trump unfavorably instead of simply asking a question. Davis then falsely claimed there is no state it is legal to kill a baby after birth, despite VP pick Tim Walz's state of Minnesota, Colorado, and 4 other states allowing abortions right up until the moment of birth in the 9th month. Walz also repealed a requirement to provide life-saving care to infants born alive after abortions, according to Charlie Kirk. Trump was then forced to press Harris on her stance on late-term abortions because the moderators refused to push for an answer from the VP.
You should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you?
Commentators on X slammed the vice president and the moderators after this clear bias. Kamala Harris tried to interrupt Trump after he called her out on supporting defund the police, despite this being against the debate rules. The moderators did not stop her. Instead, it was up to Trump to use her own line against herself.
14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
The moderators have also been widely criticized for only fact-checking Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. Muir also attempted to fact-check Trump on claims of animal cruelty in the immigrant community, which instantly backfired on him.
Verify here, you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Molesting people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food.
Peddled the Charlottesville lie that was debunked by Snopes with absolutely no questioning by the moderators. And again, there was no fact-checking by the moderators when Harris pushed the also debunked January 6th bloodbath lie. Commentator Clay Travis blasted the moderators, saying, "Now the bloodbath lie too. No fact checks. This is shameful." And commentator Kayleigh McEnany also unleashed on the moderators, demanding that they do their job and fact-check. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene also ripped into the biased moderators, saying, "My phone is lighting up with non-stop messages about how extremely biased ABC is during this debate. ABC is a disgrace."
Did you hear that? Alright, I can't seem to find that funny video, but I'm gonna play one of these for you. But you can see the news is online. People are talking about it. Why would they make this? Let's listen to this.
Breaking news, this story behind me is going viral and causing controversy because it's about this woman talking about Haitian residents eating cats and geese. Check this out.
I didn't want to believe what I'm about to tell you, but after researching, looking into it in Ohio, I actually have people out in Ohio. It turns out that there is accuracy to this story. So Springfield is a small town in Ohio. 4 years ago, it had about 60,000 residents. Under Harris and Biden, 20,000 Haitian immigrants were shipped to Springfield, Ohio. These Haitians, and I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are literally like going to parks, you know, how we feed the ducks or whatever. They are taking ducks and cutting their heads off and taking them home to eat them. To cook them and eat them. There was a neighbor that was missing her cat. She couldn't find her cat. One day she came home from work. As soon as she stepped out of her car, looked towards a neighbor's house where the Haitians lived, and saw her cat hanging from a branch like you do like a deer when you're field dressing or butchering, and they were carving the cat up to eat. They've been doing this to dogs. They've been doing it at Snyder Park with the ducks and the geese.
It seems like that this is becoming such a problem that they even had a town hall about it.
That's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like,
It's getting so bad, people are starting to fly these flags saying, "Don't eat me," and it's a picture of a cat. And this man was even photoed taking a goose from one of the nearby lakes. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this, and what do you think should be done? Because I don't think it's right, because even if it's part of your culture to eat cats or whatever, that shouldn't give you the right to be going to other people's houses and unaliving their pets and like hanging them up and trying to eat them. What do you guys think the answer is to all this? Let me know down below. Love, peace, and taco grease. Because
So that is, you heard the stories are online, but why are these people refusing? That one is saying is it the FBI or the police, they are refusing, that it's not happening. Come on, people, you know, like I said, I renamed this as the Kamala machine. It's a system. And if you look at the video that I'm doing after this, I call it as the beast system. Yeah, I can't find that video. I wish I did. So let me just play those funny clips. Where are they?
Ladies and gentlemen, what a crazy turn of events this is. We have animals, specifically cats and birds and seagulls coming out, and I'm not even kidding you, supporting and endorsing Donald Trump after the disgusting things that have been happening over the past few weeks, with all the reports from Springfield, Ohio, where the town's got a population of like 60 to 80,000, and they bring in 20,000, so like a fifth of the population now is Haitian migrants who are walking around. It's being reported they are eating cats, house cats, and also birds. And I mean, there's videos of them, and now you've got liberals trying to downplay it because they need the votes. They need the illegals in the country. They want to give them amnesty and then allow them to vote for liberal policies, and so they're trying to defend what they're doing to these poor house cats, what they're doing to the seagulls, the ducks. I mean, they're cutting up ducks now. You can see, "Dear racist, you eat birds too." And of course, they're trying to do the false equivalency. We don't go around town. I mean, these are, you know, city birds and whatever. We allow the birds to cross the road. It's showing etiquette. You don't go around town and catch a bird and then fry it up. But that's what's going on. I mean, you can see this video right here. You've got one of them catching a seagull, and this woman's trying to take it.
I know how to hold bird.
Let the poor bird go.
No, the bird is not your bird.
And so this is happening all over, but especially apparently in Springfield, Ohio. And again, you can see liberals minimizing it, downplaying it, because they need the illegal migrants. They need the votes. They need them to become legal, even in some cases not legal. But this is huge, disturbing stuff. And we have seen, and these are just great memes. I mean, this is a badass meme. Donald Trump saving the ducks, saving the cats. This is amazing. Vote Trump if you love your pets. And you've got the immigration trucks, and you got this beautiful duck, and you've got the cat right here. You gotta love the power. Look at this. Oh, this is great. These cats have come out and they've endorsed Trump. Ohio Cats for Trump. I mean, my cats come out and also endorse Trump. I mean, this is huge stuff. Now the animals like Trump. See, the animals, you guys know when there's a storm coming and the birds and they all fly away. They can sense it. They understand nature. They can sense communism. The cats and the animals, they know that if communism comes in, you're going to have all the food shortages with communism, and then we're going to be forced to eat animals to survive. And so the cats know that, and they're like, no. I mean, you want to talk about what's going on and what these cats really think. You've got the Haitian migrants coming in and stealing and frying up house cats. And the cats are like, wait, we're not going to get any support from Democrats over this, because of course you're not. They need the illegal votes. They need the Haitian votes. They want to make them legal and then allow them to vote, so they'll defend them no matter what. This is disgusting behavior. Remember, they all love animal rights, but not when it disenfranchises them to where they lose votes by deporting people. And you've got now the Ohio cats coming out, and Trump is there just with all of them, and now all the animals are supporting Trump. They're all backing Trump. This is an American movement, including animals.
Okay, yep, there it is. Maybe just one move. They even put Kamala cooking one of the cards. Oh wow. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Crazy. All right, I found the video I was talking about. Let me just open it. Let's jump to the part. No, I won't play the whole thing.
Now this is happening in America?
The park, grabbing.
Hey, Grace, real quick, we're gonna clean your brother's face. I'm gonna clean your face. You face him? Yeah. You guys are so cute. Grace is a big boy. He could feed a whole Haitian family. Look at this thing. He's a big boy. No one will ever hurt my baby, huh? I won't let them. No one will eat my baby.
Kamala, comrade Kamala thought it was a great idea. She decided to grant temporary status to Haitians and they like bust them out everywhere. They like fly them out. If you cross the border or if you come over from whatever country, you get either a plane ticket, a bus ticket, and then you get sent to like a house, an apartment. You get like a check every month from the country. So apparently Kamala decided that she was going to let everyone come in because, you know, she needs more votes. So when you invite in people from third world countries, then third world country stuff starts happening in your own country. And then in return, your country turns into a third world country. Anywho's, there's this town in Springfield, Ohio. Springfield, Ohio has like 60,000 people in it is the population. Well, they let in a whole bunch of immigrants, bust them in and all kinds of stuff. About 20,000. So that's like a third of their population.
Also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000.
Like I said, if you come into America illegally, you get money from the government. And this money is still probably not going to be enough for you to survive. And these people, these Haitians, they do things different in their country. When they're hungry, they might, you know, just grab a duck and cut its head off and eat the duck. They might just eat a cat. There's countries that eat like monkeys, cats, dogs. Like people do things different than in America.
Nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to like seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro.
Okay, let's end this. I think I've shown you enough. And let me just show you. Oh, I did show you this part. But there is still another website that is missing that I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can find it quick. All right, there it is. You see right here? See what I'm saying? That if the news can go out to the world, what are the mainstream media in the nation doing? The news is in India on a website. Do you see that? There is that guy, and there is it's a goose. Whether it's a duck or a goose, I think it's a goose, because yeah, it looks like. So look at that. Look at that. Still can't get over this. Haitian dude walking around with an entire goose. Yeah, it was a goose. Like it. My. Let's go. Okay, we saw that one. Yeah. This is crazy. There, Elon Musk also throws in what he thinks. So, if all this is on the internet, why are they mocking Trump and saying he's worse than Biden? When now it just now shows that they are proving that Biden was really bad. Can now throw it on Trump. They now know that Biden was bad. They've agreed. You see that? They themselves have caught themselves. So even now, so they agree. So right now what they're saying is their president is so bad. Okay, I think that's it. So people, go watch the full videos from these channels. That's why I'm doing it this way, so that you can see the channel name, the title of the video, and you can go ahead and watch the full news about it. So please subscribe and goodbye.
Not at all.
Do you know who the current vice president is?
No.
Who do you think it is? Take a guess.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for Barack Obama to come back.
Do you know what continents we're on?
You got me feeling dumb.
No, don't be dumb. Just know. You know this.
Nah.